Ladies and gentlemen, they've taken it to a new level. They have taken this to a new level, and it's just unbelievable. Senate Dems call on DOJ watchdog to investigate Barr. I don't know what they think. The IG report with Peter Strzok said he possibly could be biased. And with all the evidence of obstruction of justice and of criminal behavior, with Clinton transferring top secret and special access program intelligence onto her servers outside of the United States government, or agencies emailing her this information, and this information somehow finding its way into her basement server and servers outside the United States government, the IG said that the prosecutorial decisions weren't biased of the FBI. This is Michael Horowitz's initial report. So, I mean, even with the upcoming FISA report, I'm not expecting too much. It's probably going to be a lot better. It's probably going to be more incriminating, but I'm not expecting like, oh, the most amazing, report. Anyway, the point is, Senate Dems call on DOJ watchdog to investigate Barr. That doesn't mean these people won't get indicted eventually. I explain in my Federalist articles below why they will. They investigated without any evidence, and they knew there was no evidence of a crime in 2016. Democratic senators called on Justice Department's Inspector General to investigate Attorney General William Barr's handling of the Mueller report. In a Tuesday letter led by Senate Judiciary Committee member Senator Mazie Hirono, Democrats accused Barr of misleading the public when he issued a 4-page summary. He was supposed to do that. That's something that he was supposed to do. This is hilarious. So now the Inspector General is going to be like, yeah, he didn't do anything wrong. This is really, really hilarious. They know very well that he did nothing wrong, but they're using every single avenue. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like going to the restaurant and asking the waiter for, extra ketchup, and the waiter brings it to you maybe just, a couple minutes later than you think, and then you go to the manager, then you write to the CEO of the corporation that owns the restaurant, then, what else? You protest the restaurant like a person who's lost his mind. You're outside the restaurant, like, I should have gotten my ketchup faster than I thought I would have in other restaurants. They know that there was nothing. They know that the entire investigation was a complete farce, a complete sham. They know this. They can't live with the fact that they have, for every day for 2+ years, said that Trump worked with Russia to infiltrate the DNC, to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated. They can't live with that because they have nothing. You think they're passing Medicare for All legislation? No. What did they say today? AOC, the New York Times, said like, something absurd like the Fox News conservatives wish they could date her in high school, or like they're obsessed with her because she's so charming and intelligent and morally virtuous. Like, no, she's not. Are you kidding? If the DOJ should investigate anything, it's the $1 million that was funneled into 2 corporations from Justice Democrat money. Okay, that's the official definition of dark money. We have no clue what the money was used for, and that's against campaign finance laws if it happened in that way. Then, so no wonder, there's no wonder secular talk, Kyle Kulinski can't debate me, because I would ask, hey, what happened to the Justice Democrats money? Maybe there's nothing, maybe I would talk about Cenk's blog posts. Of course they can't debate me, because I'd bring up things that they can't talk about. They stand on a pedestal, this morally repugnant, this morally bereft pedestal, where they preach. And it's like, where did that money go? So the money was then was utilized to pay a corporation, allegedly, owned by one of the co-founders of Justice Democrats. This is from 3 Federal Election Commission chairmen, former FEC chairmen. So So this is so now they're saying, and then what, 40,000 25,000 to 40,000 jobs taken from Long Island City because Amazon was like, we're not dealing with AOC. And then she thought it was a victory. Then they found out it was 107 direct and indirect jobs. So none of those pundits would debate me. None of them would. You think I'm going to debate Sam Cedar and I'm going to ask him, did Hillary Clinton commit crimes? And he's going to say, no, she didn't. Then we'll get into a debate on all the criminal activity of Clinton. They can't, or David Pakman, same thing. They know that she committed crimes. They know, or they either know or they don't understand. They're not knowledgeable enough. They're ignorant of the facts. They know that James Comey covered up Clinton's crimes. They know that Bernie Sanders was cheated. They know that Bernie Sanders then promoted a myth that he and Jill Stein were part of a Russian plot. The left knows this. And the Democratic Party relies on this massive groupthink, even with people who claim to be, intellectually independent or critical thinkers. That's why they say, vote for Clinton in swing states. She's going to run again, by the way, and when they do, when she does, they're all going to go back and say, Clinton shouldn't have gotten indicted. Oh, H.A. Goodman says she was going to get indicted. She never got indicted. Oh, goodness, isn't that so funny that he said that? It's like, no, she committed crimes. She got away with it because they covered up her crimes. Then they fabricated Trump Russia. You think Sam Cedar's going to say, with Trump, if Trump purchased a dossier against Clinton, and if Trump accused somebody Clinton knew of having a conversation about getting dirt on him, then that's grounds to investigate Clinton. Of course not. Of course, if you reversed Trump Russia, you get. Let's just utilize this train of thought. Donald Trump purchases a dossier that says that Clinton enjoys bodily fluids rained down upon her. Then Donald Trump finds people to give the dossier to an FBI where there's a Republican president president who likes Trump. Okay, because Republicans hate Trump. Then you have a 2-year-long investigation because a former FBI director leaked classified memos that made allegations, mere allegations. Okay, the Comey memos are classified and they're just allegations, to start a special counsel to investigate Hillary Clinton based on the information of a dossier that's purchased by Trump that is complete nonsense. They would say, oh my God, you have no evidence, you just have hearsay and gossip. But when the reverse is true, they're okay with it. They're okay with it because Clapper and Brennan and Comey, they have authority figures that they like, but William Barr they don't like, but Trump they don't like. But Clapper and Brennan and Comey and Strzok and McCabe they like. So it's not about the United States government. President Trump, he's president of the United States. If you believe the United States government, then there's the they interfered in the election. Do you think any of these pundits are going to give me the exact number of number of voters that were influenced by Facebook ads? Which Facebook ads influenced? How many people? Which Facebook ads were the most effective in influencing voters in swing states? Because she won the popular vote. They don't know any of this. You think Sam Cedar knows which Facebook ads influenced Florida voters or Michigan voters? Of course not. Of course not. He just. There's CNN, MSNBC, and it's regurgitated to people on the left. They repeat the same things over and over again in different format. So I would love to debate David Pakman. I think one of his shows he said, well, it wasn't the the investigation wasn't targeted enough. Well, there were 30 indictments on on crimes that have nothing to do with collusion or nothing to do with the statute pertaining to collusion. It was so sprawling because they had no predicate crime. And so now the Senate wants to call on William Barr because they don't like the fact that he informed the public there was nothing there. And they knew he was going to give, they knew that he was going to give a report to begin with, a summary. Quote, it's unclear what statute, regulation, or policy led the Attorney General to interject his own conclusion that the president's conduct did not amount to obstruction of justice. What? How do you obstruct justice because Comey or Don McCann or Jeff Sessions, a staff member from Jeff Sessions, said something? So I'll debate any of those people on the fact that Trump did not obstruct justice. It's absurd. The whole thing is absurd because nothing ever happened. The ODNI and DHS reports, which nobody on the left ever read, have warranty disclaimers that I put in my Federalist article. They knew there was no evidence. They knew their judgments should not be confused with fact. It literally says that. It literally states that within the ODNI and DHS reports. Do not confuse our judgments or our analysis with fact or the belief that we have evidence to show that we're right. This is the basis of the whole Trump-Russia nonsense. Then when they fabricated a probe, that was done simply to make everything morally relative, because Clinton is going to run again. When she runs again, everyone is going to say, well, Trump is even worse. It's been 2 years of just trying to even the scales of criminality and not being able to. So now they want to investigate. William Barr, which is hilarious. The letter comes one day before Barr is set to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee. If William Barr is smart, he uses the public record and indicts Comey, Strzok, McCabe, all of them tomorrow. And the public record, let the Dems melt down. He's the Attorney General. He has all the information. Just the public record alone is enough. The public record alone is enough. You cannot leak classified memos. Those memos were classified. Because Chuck Grassley had to read them in a skiff. We have serious concerns about the propriety of the Attorney General's decision to grant access to the full redacted report, particularly when he did not appear to grant other individuals named in the report similar access. We have serious to grant full. The report, nobody was able to read the grand jury investigation, the grand jury material. That they knew that. We have serious concern about the propriety of the decision to grant access to the full. Yeah, because those redacted versions are going to show that Trump worked with Russia. They just want to milk this story. And then you have like the debates that these pundits have had with people who kind of they're sober debates. It's with they've had debates with Glenn Greenwald, where Glenn Greenwald's like amazing, wonderful journalist, really probably the best journalist out there, one of the best journalists out there. But he's on the left, so it's kind of like they talk about this landing, Trump's smooth landing. No, it's a landing for them. So you have two of the pundits on the left, two or three, had these debates with Glenn Greenwald, where Glenn Greenwald gently explains to them, yeah, you've been duped for 2 years. You've been duped for 2 years. And then the pundit goes back to, there's these contacts or so. We know these contacts, and this contacts, the 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. Obama could have vetoed the sale. The sale was allowed to go through. Does anyone question why? Does anyone question why they can't bring up those things? Money flowed into the Clinton Foundation from Uranium One. Do you want to connect the dots there? So all of this leads to Clinton, the criminality, Clinton's actual crimes and then a whole bunch of very, very powerful individuals trying to fabricate crimes associated with Trump. So that's why they're going after William Barr. So they want to investigate William Barr now. Why? Who knows why? We know why. Because they want to continue. They want to continue all of this. They cannot admit, just like pundits on the left, who would never debate me, because I was on the left, and I know their shtick. I know all the dirty little secrets of the wonderful leftists who claim to be morally superior, from the campaign finance issues to them getting fired, all these things. All of these things. Numerous, and I'm not even referring to, I'm talking about, whatever, for a tweet. And the duplicity. And it's not just, racist blog posts from Cenk Uygur. It's Joy Reid's racist blog posts. Homophobic. It's a whole bunch. The value system they claim to uphold, they don't really uphold. It's all a quest for political power and influence. That's it. That's why AOC isn't pushing a Medicare for All bill. They talk about, there's people who accuse me of grifting. Why? Because I became a Trump supporter. That's a lot of Bernie Sanders voters became Trump supporters, number one. Number two, I explained in my Federalist article why all Bernie 2016 supporters should vote Trump 2020. I explained that. So read it. Okay, he's a great president. Trump is a great president. The media meltdown, that's not the whole, he worked with Russia. That didn't happen. He'll tank the economy. That didn't happen. You have record low Black and Latino unemployment. You have 500,000 plus manufacturing jobs. Well, over 467,000. So that was a couple months back. You have the beginning of peace between North and South Korea. Obama was never even close to that. Actually, he ended up destroying a nation in Libya with a failed military intervention. Now it's taking place in Venezuela right now. That is not a military intervention from the United States of America. That's not a military intervention. So you can go ahead and say hands off this, hands off that. If you have 1,000,000% inflation, that's not the fault of Trump. That's the fault of your economic system. But that's a whole other story. What's taking place there, if the U.S. intel services are a part of it, I'm against that. But guess what? They were also a part of Trump Russia. I don't see the hands off this country people really focusing on the fact that all of these intel agencies fabricated a hoax against President Trump. No, they don't like Trump. So the Clappers of the world and Brennans and Comeys, they can do anything they want to Trump, but definitely not to countries we like, which I oppose, which I'm against. Very different from the NATO intervention in Libya, though. So, you can keep trying to make the moral equivalency. It ain't going to work. Libya did not have 1,000,000% or 80,000% inflation one year prior to the NATO intervention. That was prior to President Obama's NATO intervention. But let's see. They're going after... It's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. The whole thing is disgusting. And I'm itching to debate somebody with a major platform on the left, but they would never do that. They would never, ever debate me because I know what they're all about. And I know that when Clinton runs again, they're going to just vote for her again. She will run again, and they're going to vote for her again. And they're going to disregard that she referred to black youth as super predators. They're going to disregard that she actually once referred to Mahatma Gandhi as a gas station attendant. Those are both despicable statements. They're going to disregard the racism she used against President Obama. They're going to disregard all her failed foreign policy decisions. They're going to disregard the fact that Bernie Sanders was cheated because of her. They're going to disregard that Hillary Clinton purchased the Steele dossier and outsourced CrowdStrike. Oh, that's another thing. They can't. They're going to the Russians hacked the DNC and they interfered in the election. Well, number one, how do you know that? CrowdStrike was outsourced by the Democratic Party. How do you know that? You're trusting CrowdStrike. That's company one in the indictments. How are you sure that, well, the United States government said so, so what? So what? U.S. government says a lot of things. You pick and choose what you want to hear. The U.S. government, according to William Barr, says there was no collusion. You don't believe that? So now they want to investigate Trump, which is interesting. I don't think they're going to... The Inspector General, I don't think, will investigate the Attorney General simply because of his performing his duties. Like, this is just absurd. The whole thing is just absurd. And I don't know, like, Democrats, it's kind of... I feel bad for them. It's bad for the country, and it's sad. It's also hilarious. So there's like all these different emotions. Like they can't give up because that's all they have. They don't have legislation they're pushing for. They just pontificate and preach on Twitter. They feel good about themselves on Twitter. That's it. They live in a cyber reality. But they don't have, like, what legislation have they passed? Abolish ICE? AOC promised to abolish ICE. That's not happening. She promised Medicare for all because people are losing their lives. It's now May. We're almost at May. People apparently are still losing their lives because there's no Medicare for all. You control the House. Why don't you push for Medicare for all? There's a bill in the House and in the Senate. Why don't you push for it? Maybe you're lying. Maybe you're a bunch of grifters. Maybe you are everything that you claim Trump is, except Trump has a foreign policy where he's bringing home Americans from conflict. Trump has an economy where there's more job openings than people to fill them. So we can go on forever. Give me your thoughts below. My Patreon is below if you want to support my voice long term. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. And check out my writing in the Jerusalem Post, the Times of Israel, that's below, I believe below, the Daily Caller, and the Federalist. Thank you.